Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome to June. Jupiter is your ruler, and wherever he goes, it's very important to follow him. Over the past year, he was in Taurus, in your house, your sixth house of daily health, chores, service, small pets and animals, the work that you have to do on a daily basis, chores, I think I already mentioned that, but maybe not the work that you want to do. It's also the house of service ruled by Virgo and Mercury. You could have had rapid, because Uranus is here in Taurus in the sixth house, solutions to a health issue, or over the past year, maybe a sudden health issue or even a long-term one revealed itself. But with Jupiter here and being ruled by Venus, you could have found a profound healer, possibly a very feminine, earthy, maybe like an herbalist or a very good doctor. And hopefully you're on the healing track if something like that did come up. Maybe you traveled for work and met love on the way or suddenly. There could have been something like that happening for sure. There have been conjunctions with Jupiter, Uranus, and Venus last month, and the Sun as well. Maybe you are working in the spotlight, or you were suddenly thrown into the spotlight because of the work that you do, and love could have found its way to you there. And I keep saying that because Venus was in Taurus, and that is one of her natural places that she loves to be. If you did meet someone, it could now be progressing to the next stage, with Jupiter now moving into your seventh house of long-term committed partnership, love, marriage. The seventh house rules contracts and business. It could be the work contract or a new job that you began over the past year. You just love it, or you found work that you love, and money. You could have also found a fitness or wellness plan that has or will change your life. There could be a possible legal contract in the year ahead due to the seventh with a marriage or business partner, or you could be getting married. Your partner could be experiencing big growth this year, money-making opportunities, public speaking, education, as Jupiter rules higher education and will now be in your seventh house of partnership. The June 3rd trine is happening at the end of your second house. In the beginning of your third, Pluto will be fully moving into that third house and also up to the seventh house. Mercury is here too, and although Pluto is retrograding back to the second, he'll fully be in the third house permanently by November, and Jupiter will fully be in the seventh as well. This kicks off a huge, expansive, transformational change with regard to your self-worth. Pluto is checking back into the second house to make sure that your self-worth is shored up. Earnings and tangible things, your face, teeth, bones. Capricorn is your second house and rules the bones. That property and real estate also falls under the second house. Father and father figures ruled by Capricorn as well. That changes may have happened here, and now Pluto will start to ingress fully into the third house by the fall. These changes could be happening in your third house of local community, neighborhood, siblings, early education, business, marketing, social media, the hands. Gemini rules the hands, and will be trining up to Jupiter in your seventh house, Gemini. Gemini is up in the seventh. Sorry for the confusion. Naturally, Gemini rules the third, but it is for you because you're rising a Sagittarius. It's Aquarius. Hopefully I didn't confuse you with that. But anyway, this trine will be happening up to Jupiter, and this could be growth and expansion in your seventh house. Bodily health also could have been affected while Pluto was transiting the second. Pluto is trying to clean this area up as Jupiter is sitting on the fence he's really hovering in between your sixth house of health and getting ready to fully move into that seventh house of partnership. So the trine happening from the third to the seventh could look like new beginnings for you, as Pluto will also sextile your ascendant as he progresses on over the next 20 years, and he'll be trining your seventh house of partnerships, marriage, legal, and business contracts. Mercury here in the mix also rules communication about these things. You could receive big downloads as Pluto goes retrograde with ideas about a business you want to start, people you want to partner up with. Powerful new love or new partners could come in for you over the next year, as your seventh house ruler is Mercury, and Mercury is aspected in this Pluto trine. You can meet them through a new neighborhood, through education, social media, internet, as Aquarius is your third house from the ascendant and rules large groups of people, the internet, humanitarian issues, social movements. You could meet someone over the next year for sure, as Jupiter will be expanding your social networks and potential partners. A business idea that takes shape now could be a powerful new path as the years unfold, with Pluto moving in, and big gains as well. Maybe you could develop an education or sporting app. Sagittarius are natural athletes and teachers. You could also move to a larger, more prosperous neighborhood, a wealthy neighborhood. These are just a few ideas of what this trine could start to bring in for you or will unfold for you as time goes on. Saturn, around the same time, Saturn is sitting in your fourth house of Pisces with Neptune over there. And Saturn will be squaring this aspect. Could just be throwing some confusion around Venus issues up in the seventh house of partnerships, or maybe you feel blocked in partnership or frustration. But just keep in mind that this too will come to pass. On June 6th, the new moon at 16 degrees in Gemini in your seventh house will conjunct the Sun and Venus. This could be good money news for your partner, new beginnings or ideas for them, income and business ideas that will also positively affect you. This could also have something to do with arts, communication, or teaching. Could be different ways or difficulty, making up your mind regarding these options. Or your significant other or business partner could be struggling with all this Mercury overload in Gemini. Because Saturn, in Pisces will be squaring up from that fourth house of home and family. So maybe there are things going on at home with property or family that might block or interfere, or maybe just cause a little bit of frustration to the seventh house topics. Maybe you're about to go on, a date, and maybe it's online and your computer freezes or something. I'm just kidding, but, maybe something like that. Or maybe your home life interferes with, a night out that you had planned with your partner. Just some ideas. Maybe a legal contract for a piece of real estate or a new property comes up, which you may love, and maybe there's just some snags in the contract, or something has to be gone back over. Saturn always comes in to kind of shore up weak areas. On June 11th, this has to be talked about. There are two malefics squaring each other. It will be Mars and Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius. For here, I would say, because this is happening from your third house to your sixth house of health, third house also rules vehicles and driving and your local mobility. Pluto is hovering between that second and third house before fully moving into the third. In Capricorn, bone structure, sixth house is health. Be careful not to break a bone. No speeding around on these days. No running around recklessly. Third house rules vehicles. Don't be on your phone. Don't text and drive. Gemini rules communication in here, and there's a big influence of Gemini and electronics over the course of June. Sixth house is your health. You could be getting news that affects your health or self-worth. Bank account is ruled by the sixth house. You could be upset or angry or frustrated about something that affects your work and money. Venus rules Taurus, and Mars is in Taurus. And Pluto is not in his domicile. He's retrograde as well. So I would say, I don't know how much harm will come from this square, but we always just have to look out for it. Once again, the exact date is June 11th. So I would say be careful on either side of that date, a few days before the 11th, a few days after. You may have already been feeling this as early as late May. I feel that this aspect can be a little bit more below the surface and less impactful because of its placements. But either way, take care of finances and health around this time. On June 17th and 18th, the Sun and Venus will form a conjunction in your seventh house, and Neptune and Saturn will square this aspect, but it's not a malefic square. They're in Pisces, Neptune and Saturn alike, and Saturn is not unhappy in Pisces. It could just simply be some illusion or confusion around love, home, money, partnerships, a fog that will definitely clear, as Venus moves further into Cancer. All in all, I think this is a beautiful aspect to maybe have a date night or go out and socialize. I think it would be great for that. On June 20th, the Sun enters Cancer in your 8th house, dialing the energy down from the 7th and partnerships. Or maybe you're progressing with a love partner to the 8th house of deeper bonding, sex, and intimacy. It also rules rebirth, the 8th house, money from unearned sources like royalties, loans, other people's money, inheritance. So some of these topics could be coming up as the sun moves through Cancer in that 8th house. On June 21st, the full moon in Capricorn in your 2nd house could look like completing a work project that yields money or payout, or finishing dental work that makes you feel better about yourself. Moving on to June 29th, the end of the month, Saturn will retrograde for the next few months in the 2nd house, having you go over structures around money, self-worth, dental work, could be body, your actual physical body. The 2nd house can represent that, clearing up any confusion, because Neptune has been here for a minute, about these topics and how to move forward in a very structured step-by-step way. Saturn is the hard teacher. He's not there to punish you. He just wants to make sure you're doing the right things for yourself, and then the good karma unlocks. You will have a strong focus on the money houses as we head into July, with Neptune and Saturn in retrograde and Pluto heading back into that 2nd house. And all of these Cancer placements are going to start moving up from the 7th, higher up to the 8th. And that's about it. I will see you in July, Sagittarius. Thanks for listening.